Let me just ask one question about the other big story this week. George Tenet, former CIA director, now making the rounds. He's got a book. You know, I saw the picture of them in the paper from 2003 when Colin Powell was at the UN holding up that vial and saying, this is Saddam Hussein's bad chemical stuff, and Tenet sat right behind him. I always defended Powell for staying in the administration as long as he did. I said, you know what? Better to have one sane guy in the room than none. But I read Maureen Dowd's column this week, and she said, you know what? If Tenet and Powell together, the two guys who knew this was bullshit, had walked out together, maybe this never would have got going. You think that's true?
I don't know. Could be. Could be. I saw her column, too, and it's easy to look back and say what people should have done. Here's what in fairness to them, I've got to think that they thought that once or if this project, this Iraq project, went as poorly as this one has, that the administration would be willing to make change. And what we have seen over and over again is that this administration has not been willing, once miscalculation, a mistake, or just a huge blunder has been realized, instead of changing course, they charge down the course and add more to it, which is why what the Senate and the Congress has done over the past few days has been the smart thing, to say to this president that a change is needed, and you're going to have to sit down and negotiate with not just Congress, but the American people, because all of us want to win, and I'd love to hear this new definition of winning or losing, but all of us want to win.
I'll give you. Well, things like settle it. Like settle it. Well, like settle. Like, let's talk about settling, because you're shoving it. It turns into a fight that's going to make people feel bad. As simple as that sounds, people feel bad. You help me out on this one. You
know, recently, when President Ford died, there was a lot of revisionist discussion about his pardoning of Richard Nixon. And in most cases, both Democrats and Republicans got on the talk shows and said, well, as it turned out, it was a great unifier for the country at a time. The country was very divided, chaos. And I think it's really quite the opposite, that when you have a precedent set like that, and you have somebody, George Tenet, acknowledging in his book that he knew that the administration was deceiving the American people into a situation that is murdering young men and women from this country and others, that George Tenet and Dick Cheney and Condoleezza Rice and George Bush et al. Should be in fucking jail.
And Gary, I know some of your exes. You've been in fucking jail a few times.
I've never been in fucking jail, and I don't think we should. I don't know what you're talking about.
Jail.
Huh?
I was making.
Oh, in fucking jail. That's excellent, Bill.
All right.
I have been, and George Tenet, if I may say, and.
George Tenet, this is, you know, we talk about whistleblower protections, these kinds of things. When you know, people do not, the American people are under the misconception that the oath is sworn to the President of the United States. It's to the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they are in violation of the Constitution.
So you have a guy, you have a guy there, right, who has certain knowledge, certain beliefs. He changes his, he doesn't stay true to his beliefs in order to keep his job, and then he makes a profit of $3 million off the book, basically. That's what America's all about.
You know, but Paris Hilton might go to jail for drunk driving,
right.
But so that's some kind of negligence, is I guess the notion in the law. Well, there was this negligence of these two Al-Qaeda operatives that were in the United States, and CIA knew about it and did nothing to put them on a watch list.
By the way, I'll give you a definition. My definition of victory is when we stop making young Muslim men in this country, but mostly all around the world, stop wanting to kill us. And the Iraq war is having the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Let me go to our satellite. His documents